Alright guys, so first autocross here in the Mini. What's up everybody, SuperWorks fan here for Mini Weekly Update number 14 on this Friday. So, what's new with the Mini? Well, it made the whole road trip totally fine, so that's good. So it's restored my confidence in this car that I put, almost 1,000 miles on it over the course of a week or so, and it was fine, driving for basically 7 hours straight without issue and staying nice and cool, no warning lights, nothing, so that's good. So Mini is in tip-top shape again, and that makes me very happy. So that's good. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Aside from that, nothing else. Like I said, just enjoying worry-free motoring again, which is a gift in and of itself. I still am kicking around the idea of either doing maybe a drop-in filter or just a cheap intake, just for a little more sound, like I said, because I do, wish it had more sound. But at the same time, I don't really have money to be dropping on modifications, so we'll just see. I actually did talk with the person that manages the warranty for this car, though, and they said that an intake or exhaust would be fine and wouldn't void my warranty, so I could at least do that kind of stuff. A tune, I think, still would void the warranty. More extensive engine work would void it, and so, but light mods like that should be fine, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so that's it as far as new stuff with the Mini. The other cool thing though that I want to mention is there's a new feature on YouTube called the tip jar, and basically it's what it sounds like. So I know back whenever I was saying how I had to sell the BRZ and I was having financial issues and all that kind of stuff, there was a good amount of you guys that said that you thought I should have started a Kickstarter to save the car, or that you would have given me money to help me out and things like that. And I feel kind of weird accepting money and asking for money, but the nice thing about the tip jar thing is it's not like I'm asking for money for anything. It's just, hey, this is here. If for some reason you'd like to donate money and you want to just help me out, support me, help me get out of my financial stuff and all that quicker, the sooner I get out of all this stuff, the sooner I can have a sweeter car and faster car and nicer cameras and all that kind of stuff. So it always helps. So if you want to support the channel, there's a little annotation. So yeah, straight through YouTube. Like I said, you can go onto the channel homepage there, youtube.com/SuperWorksFan, and you'll see in the right corner there's a little support thing. And if you do decide to support, you'll also get a special thank you video from me. That's just me just saying thank you and stuff like that. So that's cool as well. And it's cool that YouTube is doing that. I'm also kicking around the idea of doing a Kickstarter type thing. I'm not going to say what it would be about yet, but I would just say that it would be something that would make the channel more interesting. And so still haven't totally decided on that yet, but I think it's a cool way to get you guys involved and make you feel like you guys are we're doing this together. It's not just me doing something and posting a video about it. It's us actually doing it together, and with your help we're making things happen. And obviously you're helping just by watching this, because the larger the channel gets, the more that other people want to work with me, which means cooler cars to review and more opportunities and all that kind of stuff. So you're already helping me out big time, but this would just take it the next level, and we can actually go and start having goals for things we want to get done and do it together. It'd be a big adventure. So stay tuned for all that kind of stuff. I know that money kind of stuff turns a lot of people off. That's why I'm kind of still hesitant about it. But anyway, I blabbered enough about that. So I'll send it back to me at the news desk for this week's news. Right, so for this week's news, the first thing is some exciting news that it's officially been announced that Honda is going to be giving the CRZ as superchargers an option with their HPD, supercharger that they have. Gives the car 67 more horsepower, so it puts it at 197 horsepower. So this is basically like a Honda Civic Si amount of power that now is in the CRZ, which makes that a really interesting car to me, because I thought it was a lot of fun, even with the low power that it did have already. But now with the supercharger, this is going to be really sweet. I honestly would probably prefer this over the Civic Si. And the thing about this is, the nice thing is, it's covered under the factory warranty. So the full powertrain warranty, 5 years, 60,000 miles, if you get it installed at the dealership. And uninstalled, the price is only $5,500 extra. And since, you know, CRZs are selling pretty slowly right now, pretty sure you could pick one up for a steal and almost negate half of that price just with, the fact that they're not selling very well. So that's really awesome to hear, and I would love to review one that has one of these superchargers. I think that'd be awesome. But, so yeah, way to go Honda. You should talk with Subaru about superchargers. Next is a report here saying that Mazda is considering a Mazda Speed 2 because, you know, there's such success with the Ford Fiesta ST, the Fiat 500 Abarth, and everything like that. Mini Cooper S is another one, of course, and so they're considering doing their own hot hatch because, I mean, you know, Mazda knows how to make a pretty good hot hatch themselves, so doing a Mazda Speed 2 would make a lot of sense, especially now that the normal Mazda 2 is actually looking pretty good these days with the new restyle. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to go forward with that or not, but I hope they do. Next is a report here saying that Lotus is considering planning out a new sedan and a crossover. And, you know, these things about Lotus, I mean, they said like 3 or 4 years ago, you know, they had all these sweet, you know, the new Esprit concept, and they had all these different cars, these sports cars they were considering, and they even went and built prototypes of them. And then it just kind of fell by the wayside because they didn't have the funding. Now they're trying to talk about a sedan and a crossover. I'm assuming because they think they can sell a higher volume of sedans, I suppose, than they would if they made a new Esprit. But that's really unfortunate. You know, I mean, I'm sure it'd be a great handling lightweight car, even as a sedan. But I was hoping they'd do a new Esprit and a new Elan and all these other kind of cool cars. It looks like that's not the case. But we'll see. I mean, honestly, I kind of doubt they're even going to do a sedan. But we'll see. It's some Lotus news, though, that they are, in fact, doing is they're testing a more extreme Elise on the Nürburgring. So it looks pretty aggressive, this car here. Now, obviously, it has a bunch of aero bits and things like that. And so I mean, it looks cool, but, you know, I don't know any of the details as far as that car goes, except that it's matte red and looks pretty awesome. And it's driving around the Nürburgring. So we'll wait and hear the official word from Lotus whenever they choose to release that information. Another interesting thing that was released this week is that Aston Martin has trademarked the DB10 through DB14 nomenclature for their cars, and so now it's anyone's guess which model number between DB10 and DB14 they'll choose. I'm assuming they'd, you know, just go to the next one up and do DB10, but who knows? It's interesting they're future-proofing themselves, going all the way up to DB14. Who knows, you know, how long these patents last for, but interesting to see that. And like I was mentioning last week, I'm very excited for the new Aston Martin cars they're going to be doing here in the future, so that's awesome. Other Aston Martin news is that there's a report here saying that Aston Martin may be forced to stop selling the DB9 and the Vantage in the US, and that's because there's new side impact safety standards that are mandating that, you know, cars sold for the 2016 model year, I believe, they have to be able to withstand a pole impact like a tree. You know, if you wrap the car around a tree, they're designing these cars now to better take that kind of force. The BRZ was one of the first cars to get a really good rating in that specific test. You know, Subaru always over-engineers their cars with safety, so it passed with flying colors. But the Aston Martins, these are old cars too. The Vantage and DB9 have both been around for a long time. The DB9's been around for basically, 10 years now, so you know, it's kind of understandable they don't hold up very well in these new modern tests, but it's kind of sad. They're going to try and get an exemption here so they don't have to stop selling the cars, because that'd be really sad. You know, obviously the new Aston Martins will be coming to the US and they will have these new safety features so they can withstand those impacts better, but hopefully they can at least keep selling the stuff they have now. And for some news from Ford here, they began testing a right-hand drive version of the Mustang that the rest of the world's going to get here, you know, the UK and stuff like that. There's just one picture here of a convertible. It's right-hand drive, which is very exciting, though, for all the international people that love the Mustang and never been able to get their hands on one without paying an extremely amazing amount of money. So it looks really good here. This is a convertible 5.0 performance pack, and the only difference you can tell from the US ones, aside from being right-hand drive, is that the taillights in the back are clear instead of red. I think that's a government thing, about having red turn signals. They have to be orange, I believe. Not totally sure, but so that's cool. It actually looks really good, white with the clear taillights. That's awesome. But other awesome white Ford Mustang news 2015 is there is officially debuted what's officially a teaser of the 2015 Ford Mustang RTR that's going to be coming out at SEMA that looks really sick. For the most part, a few little things are a little sketchy to me, but it looks really good, I think. And this is obviously, the drifter Von Gittin Jr. He has this tuning shop RTR, and they're doing their Mustang tuning here, and looks pretty sweet. I can't wait for all these tuners to jump all over the new Mustang. I think it looks fantastic stock, but it's going to be amazing to see what people do with them. Next is that, Buick's been considering bringing over, obviously they use a lot of the Opel products over in Europe and bring them over as Buicks, and so they're considering doing a convertible because the 2016 Cascada convertible is available. It looks like a Buick already, just change the grille and badges and you basically have a beautiful Buick convertible that they could have on the market with minimal work. And so I think they've been showing these convertibles to U.S. dealers, kind of seeing if they'd want to sell them, but I always... It's kind of sad, the current market, there's really not a whole lot of cheap convertibles out there, aside from the Miata, the Mustang convertible, Camaro convertible, stuff like that, but, there used to be tons of these cars that were cheap convertibles. I mean, they even made a Geo Metro convertible, for Pete's sake, so you would think that, there's a market there. I think there still is demand for convertibles, and hopefully Buick spearheads this movement with more convertibles. Other GM news here is there's a report that Cadillac is considering an A3 Mercedes CLA kind of fighter, but theirs would be rear-wheel drive, which would make it way better than the competition. So again, this is just speculation, but they're saying that there's a project in the works, and since all the European ones, they're all front-wheel drive, or the A3 is all-wheel drive if you get that as an option. But front-wheel drive, I mean, it's good, but come on, rear-wheel drive's better. So I think Cadillac's trying to one them up, and I think, the market is, the A3 and the CLA both are super red-hot sellers, so Cadillac would be dumb not to look into it. You don't want to dilute the brand too much, but I feel like they could make a small Cadillac that starts under 30 grand, rear-wheel drive. I would be interested in something like that. So that's really cool. I love this movement of small luxury sedans. It's great. This is an interesting rumor that popped up this week, is that, the Dodge Viper sales haven't been doing very well. And, now it's actually a Dodge again, it's not the SRT Viper. But they're saying that they're considering a supercharged V10. So everyone's blown away by 707 horsepower from the Hellcat supercharged V8 that's in the Challenger and the Charger. And so this rumor is saying they want to do a supercharged V10, and so God knows how much horsepower that thing would have. My guess is 808. Why not? Maybe even more. Who knows? But I think that would be enough to get people interested in the Viper again. So very cool to hear that rumor. I mean, it's just a rumor. We can all dream, but that would be really nice if they did that. Dodge is just crazy enough. I think they could actually do it, though. Another rumor here is there's a rumor saying that Lamborghini may offer a rear-wheel drive version of the Huracan, which doesn't, it's not too much of a surprise because they made a rear-wheel drive version of the Gallardo, and it sold pretty well. So I feel like, they could probably do a rear-wheel drive version of the Huracan, would do really well, and they can make it cheaper as well and lighter weight. So that's a rumor, but I think, the chances of that happening are pretty good. Another thing that's probably going to happen, but is still just a rumor for now, is there's a rumor that Ferrari is going to be doing 458 examples of a new Speciale Spider. So obviously they have the 458 Speciale, they'll probably be doing a Spider, and it'll probably be limited production. The same way they did the Scuderia 16M convertible, which was limited. This is basically inevitable. I'm sure they're going to do it. It's a rumor for now, but it's going to happen, I'm sure. Don't worry about it. So yeah, if you're holding out hope for a Speciale Spider, chances are you'll probably get one. And the last rumor I'm going to talk about in the news this week is Alfa Romeo is considering doing an M3 rival because, they have the new Giulia sedan that they're going to be coming out with here. It's going to be amazing. And they have the GTA arm of Alfa Romeo, which is kind of like their version of a Barth. And so these are amazing cars, and they're going to be doing this all-new car that's going to be fighting the 3 Series, so it only makes sense to have performance versions of that. So, I don't know, what they would be doing exactly with it. It's all speculation. This is all rumors. But you'd be looking at probably 500 horsepower or so. They're saying they could use the twin-turbo V6 that's in the Maserati Ghibli, tune that a little bit, and that's a Ferrari-built motor, so it's sweet. And that would give you your 500 horsepower or thereabouts that you need. and that would be a really sick car. But first we need to get more alphas over here. I can't wait to see them all over the streets. But yeah, so that's it for all the news this week, guys. I'll send it back to me in the car. I couldn't make this up better if I tried. So I was going to do the acceleration like I always do, and before I accelerated though, I was accelerating another time to try and get onto the highway and hit a bump, and then all of a sudden I could hear my blow-off valve a lot better, and wondering what was going on, and then the car started idling a little weirdly, so then I pulled over here as soon as I could, popped the hood, and I'll show you what just happened. Sorry for the noise. As you might be able to see, I hit a bump and the turbo airbox inlet just came open. So this needs to be over there. And obviously I don't have a screwdriver on me, so I can only put it on there a little bit. But that needs to just be screwed back on there, then everything will be fine. So I'll just take it easy home. So just what I said, I mean, it's no big deal, it's a small little thing, but it's just funny that this car has little things here and there. I just have bad luck, I guess. So instead of acceleration, I'll leave you on that bombshell, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next week for the next adventure. Take care.